These are mature, funny people
Okay.
by nature. They're funny. And I really felt that they were better than the traditional actors. I know the traditional actors are going to be very angry with me, but I really don't care, because at the end of the day, I don't care if they lose their heads over this. Because I asked some rapper, I think it was Lyrical G, who was a good friend of mine.
Who's actually been hosted on this show?
Hey, Lyrical, yeah,
Yeah,
Lyrical is a good guy.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. He's a good friend of mine. Jeffrey Chintu, that's his full name. So Jeffrey, one time we did an interview, and he told me, I was like, so I asked him, is rap poetry? He said yes. So I said, so Jay-Z can be called a poet? He said yes. I said, is the reverse true? Can Shakespeare be called a rapper? He can't, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah, so how are the two synonymous,
Okay,
you know?
okay.
So that's kind of unfair. It's like you trying to appropriate what is not yours.
True.
Yeah.
He's not he's not homophobic. He's just pro.
Yeah.
I'm not homophobic. I'm pro pussy. There is a difference.
G Styles, the G full of style. Them a pre-we, if you know, you know. Coca-Cola, me day up on top with me crown King Styles. Everything crease and ting in a me palace. Every boy a pre me in a me Rolls Royce. Ngabuli chimuchakabi, everything.
Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for watching. The fact that you're here watching right now means a lot to us. We don't take that for granted. Thank you. We appreciate that. And if you're subscribed, big up on yourself. But for those that haven't subscribed, the subscribe button is right there in front of you. Just smash it. Smash the hell out of that subscribe button and we'll get notified on this side. All right. So today I'm super excited. I guess you can tell from the tone of my voice. Excited to sit down with a man that I revere, that I respect so much. He's a man who wears many hats in the arts. Yeah. He's a writer. He's a poet. He's an arts curator. He's a humorist. He's an author. He's a show host. He's an MC. He's a nice guy and everything in between. I've followed his works for a long time. We just had never had a chance to sit down and have a conversation such as this. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome with me, Phil Matogo. Phil, you're welcome.
Thank you. Thanks,
Yes.
man. Thanks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Congratulations upon the a successful show.
Yeah. Oh,
License to Phil.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tell me, what was License to Phil about?
License to Feel is basically a story which evolved out of a story, in the sense that I wrote a book, an anthology, poetry anthology, and then the people who read it felt that we could turn it into a play. And I saw how some other plays went. My friend Bernard Mujuni, Gobi Kagai, those guys, Lantern Poets, Mito Poets, they had done something similar. I saw them doing it well, so I said, why can't we do it? But with a different concept, in the sense that they were using experienced actors, experienced poets.
Okay.
I was using just, I could say, I was mixing experience with expectation, in the sense that we would have newbies and the old school players, people like, say, Alex Chitaka and the like. You know, those are people who've been in theater for 10 years plus.
Okay.
Then there were new people like the Charlotte Bossas, Lauren Kahunde, and Taz Mulumba, and who else? Yeah, those are the newbies.
Okay.
Also Charles, there's Charles Wangala. I think also him is a bit new. Yeah, so those are the guys we brought to bear. You know, those are the guys who we thought could add a new dimension to the whole aspect of having poetry on the stage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. What inspired the name, the title?
Oh,
of
License
the
to
thing?
Feel. License to Feel. It's
Initially, when I heard,
yeah,
I thought it was a license. You're the only man that has a license to feel, had gotten a license to feel. Until I read Phil was for Phil, right?
Yeah.
What
Phil,
inspired
F-I-L,
you?
yeah. Well, the what inspired it is like it's a pun, right? It's plays on the word,
Okay.
on the idea of license to kill from James Bond.
Ah.
License to kill, license to fill. And the difference is in poetry we have what you call poetic license. So poetic license allows you to take advantage of undue advantage many times of the words that you use in the sense that you can push boundaries. Like instead of making it grammatically correct or making it poetically, seamless, you can actually go your own way, break the rules. That's what it means to have a poetic license, breaking the rules. So a license to feel was a license to me to break poetic rules in order to pass on a message about how I used to live at one point in time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
You had so many poets that you worked with. You
Yeah.
named Kahunde,
Already.
and those other guys. Like, what was it like bringing these great guys together? Yeah, bringing them together and then pulling off a show like that. Because I will tell you,
Yeah.
everybody has, each of them has a way their own style of poetry. I don't know if they call it poetry.
Yeah, the
Their own
poetic
style of
styles.
poetic styles and stuff. So,
yeah.
how did you bring all these different styles to produce the license to film?
I would say it's okay because somehow these guys were all willing to learn and grow together.
Okay.
They were willing to work together, and they're kind of I would say the ladies I've mentioned and even the guy Charles who works for Radio City.
Okay.
Is these are mature, funny people.
Okay.
By nature, they're funny, and I really felt that they were better than the traditional actors. I know the traditional actors are going to be very angry with me, but I really don't care because at the end of the day, I don't care if they lose their heads over this. The idea of a license to feel is to try, it's like a revolutionary thing. So what we did is when you bring in so many styles and you amalgamate them and make them work, you realize that those styles can actually be one style in the sense that each of those individuals I mentioned, maybe not Taz. Taz was not sure of her, but she became super. People just loved her performance.
Okay.
And as one person said, there's another experienced actor who told me, she said that Taz, her talent is so immense that it's going to be, she may not know what to do with it. That's how good she is.
Whoa,
of course, there's also people like Lindsay Kukunda, who's good also. She brought another element. She's more experienced. Yeah, she's been in this thing. She's brought more professionalism to it.
Okay.
And then of course we had other performers, people like Eva Richkairi, Winnie, who did the opening act. Yeah, so her story is very interesting because she's been writing all her life.
Okay.
And she's a mother, an activist and all that stuff. But then she'd been doing all this stuff for all her life. But the thing is with her, she had never really gone to a mass audience to perform.
Okay.
She's performed, more niche crowds. But this time we took her to the National Theatre and she really wowed people. She was really fantastic. I think her voice alone, especially if you hear her, she's going to release poetry soon, is fantastic.
Okay.
I don't want to overpraise, but then even her daughter, Shamaza, was fantastic.
Did she perform too?
Yeah, she's 16, I think, yeah. Because I actually thought that she would be too scared of the audience, because I would be at that age. I mean, a much more mature audience at the National Theatre, but she was totally unfazed. I asked her before, and she was like, I was like, what?
Yeah.
She was like, yeah, I can do it. So she went on the stage, and she was perfect. It's like she was like 50. Then we had another guy called Emma who calls himself Imagination.
Okay.
Yeah, Emma's really good. Emma Mukisa is really fantastic,
Yeah.
So people loved him because he worked very well with our guy called Mr. Kayondo. We like calling him Mr. Kayondo. Although he's Eduardo. Eduardo, have you heard of Eduardo Kayondo?
Eduardo, yes.
You've heard of him? Yeah, he's really good. he did that song about Nabingo girls,
Yeah.
and Nabingo girls were very happy.
Okay.
Yeah, Charlotte's a Nabingo girl, by the way, one of our cast members, so that's all good.
Nice.
But we created that kind of ecosystem where we're like a family.
Yeah.
So we understand each other's weaknesses and strengths, and the strengths as many as the weaknesses, which we appreciate. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But the point is, we understand each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woof.
Yeah.
Sounds great. So you are the glue that brought all this good energy together.
Yeah, this is that's the key word, good energy. Keywords,
Yeah,
good energy.
yeah.
They all had good energy. Of
Yeah.
course, there are one or two who are not in sync with who we are, but that can all be smoothed out. Yeah. It's not, we're now a family by dint of the fact that we worked together and we went through this together, 3 months of preparation, and it was not easy. There were times when we just didn't really want to do it anymore. We're like, yeah, to hell with this. Like, so I hope I didn't. Well, am I allowed to say to hell?
Of course. It's not PG, it's not rated what?
All right,
18 plus.
yeah. So, because if I apologize to read viewers, but the truth is, there were times when we didn't think that it was going to come off. There were times even, because you need financing for the National Theatre.
Entirely,
Yeah. And even putting that money, bringing it to bear was not that easy. Whereas we're even still paying some things, but that's okay. That's understandable. That's the journey. And it was all brought by Fasihi magazine, which is something I originated with a few other writers.
Okay.
Fasihi magazine. I think at this stage, I think we're going to do something special with Fasihi.
Okay.
We're going to revamp the website in a month, in less than a month. We're also getting some of the best writers. Yeah, we want to critique poetry. I don't know if I'm rambling, but let me just keep going. Okay?
You're good.
Yeah, so want to critique poetry,
Oh, yeah.
right? There was a lady called Papati. She's in the UK. She's really good.
Yeah.
She's. I've never seen somebody that passionate with poetry. It kind of, she immerses herself in poetry, which is quite remarkable. So we're going to do something with FemRight, here. FemRight will be critiquing their work, not really critiquing it, but just kind of like evaluating. And their work is very good. FemRight, have you read their stuff? Their books? The ladies' books? Very good.
I need to check them out.
I can't call them ladies' books.
Yeah.
That's kind of strange
Yeah.
and outdated. I'll just call them books.
Books, yeah.
Yeah, because guys, whenever they hear feminists, they get scared. I don't, because I grew up in a tradition where feminists were asking for an equal stake in society,
Okay.
not to cut men's testicles off.
Yeah.
That's not what feminism is. Those women who hate men, you're not feminists. You're haters.
I know. Straight
That's
haters.
all you are.
Yeah.
You're not feminists.
Yeah.
Feminism is something elevated.
How about
something better?
How about men who hate women?
Those
They're just
are,
haters.
yeah, those are haters also. They're not. They can call themselves masculinists.
Misogynists.
People like using misogyny.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's overbandied about.
Okay.
Whenever you say anything against a woman or about a woman, which seem to be, out of sync with how they perceive themselves or how they should be perceived according to them, they say that you're a misogynist.
Yeah.
Then there's a misogynist, but I prefer to say some of these guys are masculinists. They're pushing back against the wave of feminism they see, and the wave of feminism, so-called, they put it in quotes, is not really feminine, as we've just said. It's just hate, and anything to do with hate, you're gonna get pushed back, and you're gonna lose.
I agree
Yeah.
entirely.
Yeah.
Thank you, Phil. Now
Yeah.
back to License to Phil.
Yeah.
Who did you have in mind while preparing for, when you even imagined the show? Who did you have in mind? Who was your target audience? Yes.
We wanted to bring, because you see, the thing is this. I don't want to sound like a snob or anything, but the thing is this: there are two. Poetry is kind of like for high culture, high society. It's good to bring it to the streets, yes, but when you bring it to the streets, make sure it's still poetry. Because you can bring it to the streets, then it gets. At the end of the day, it gets adulterated. Then it becomes something else. It becomes no longer poetry; it just becomes rap. I'm not dissing rap because I'm a big rap head.
Oh.
But they're two different things.
Really? You
I've
rapped
been-
too?
I used to rap back in the day, high school. Yeah,
Interesting.
guys know that. Especially in Bulldog, guys know that. I have some. We're good. We're good, and I love rap.
Yeah.
I am a big fan. Of course, I'm a big fan of rap.
Yeah.
Old and new rap.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I also realized that because I asked some rapper, I think it was Lyrical G, who was a good friend of mine.
Who's actually been hosted on this show?
Hey, Lyrical, yeah, Lyrical is a good guy.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. He's a good friend of mine. Jeffrey Chintu, that's his full name. So Jeffrey, one time we did an interview, and he told me, I was like, so I asked him, is rap poetry? He said yes. So I said, so Jay-Z can be called a poet? He said yes. I said, is the reverse true? Can Shakespeare be called a rapper? He can't, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah, so how are the two synonymous,
Okay,
you know?
okay.
So that's kind of unfair. It's like you trying to appropriate what is not yours.
True.
Yeah. Football, there are many other variations of football, but they're not necessarily football or basketball or handball or what. But those ones are exclusively what they are, and this is what you are. By the time you try and get into this act, it's like you're trying to refine things to make yourself more sophisticated.
Yeah.
Rappers are, to all intents and purposes, hood guys. There are a few working class people like the Will Smiths, few, but the majority of them come from very, they come from the, as Tupac would say, they come from the concrete. The roads that grew out of concrete, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
They come from the concrete.
Yeah.
They come from the dirt, which is not bad. I don't know why people think that's a bad thing, because places like America, they celebrate people who rise from the dirt and rise to the top. Yeah, as Oscar Wilde, the poet, said, we're all in the gutter. The difference between all of us is that some see the stars, others just see the dirt.
Others see what?
Others just see the dirt. The gutter is just the dirt.
Yeah.
But we're all there. Yeah, but others are like looking at the stars, and they can actually make that happen. They can make them align. Then the others were like, you know what, we're all messed up, which is true. Yeah, to a great degree. And that's the kind of thing that I had with License to Feel.
Yeah.
If you read it, many guys said it was risque, it had many explosive things in there, sexual things.
Yes.
But I'm like, that's how we all are. That's how we all came about.
I agree entirely, and then that is life. Like
That's life.
That's life itself.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds great.
Can I get some coffee, I guess?
Please, feel free.
It's long spoon. Okay.
All right, so I know you studied, very well educated gentleman.
Yeah,
you did
fairly.
arts, bachelor's in arts,
Yeah.
and a master's in
I did a master's in international relations,
International
but I
relations.
didn't complete it.
Yeah.
I think I'll go back and complete it.
Ah,
So, yeah.
okay. So which part of you did education sharpen? Because I've seen comedians and poets that haven't probably even gone to school.
Yeah,
You get what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Like, and I know you're one of those natural born poets.
Yeah,
Like, you can just tell.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
what part of you is that education sharpened? That you feel I didn't have, if it wasn't for education, I don't think I would have known A, B, C, D. I would be A, B, C, D. Like, what's that thing about you?
Let me see. Education was good. The formal education, right, was good. Let me see what helped me a lot. I would say it's more the teachers than the subjects. Yeah, because I met very interesting teachers over the course of my, academic.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Not the subjects, but the
Yeah, the teachers. The teachers are really important.
Yeah. Okay.
They're really
I never thought
important.
about it like
Yeah,
that.
teachers are very important as conveyors of what you need to understand. If you have a good teacher, actually they say a great teacher inspires, and these teachers all inspired me. I can name them from when I was a kid. I had a guy in the UK called Miles Halliwell. Inspirational. He used to always tell me everything that carries on coming back to me now, and that was like when I was 9 years old. He would tell me stuff which and I wish I could meet that guy again. Very inspirational. Then you have then leaving that at the International School of Tanganyika, there was a woman called Miss Julia McKelvey. She told me, man, Philip, you can do anything. She is the one who actually made me feel, like I was really competent. I didn't really feel that way. Then later on in Uganda, we had, of course, Mr. Sam Busulwa. Excellent guy.
Okay.
Busulwa, he was a headmaster of Bodo. Then Mr. Anthony Mayanja, that guy was good. Yeah, he passed away though. And I would say these are the guys. Of course, there are people like the Susan Chigulis who are good they add enthusiasm.
Okay.
But she didn't really inspire me, but she had a lot of enthusiasm in what I did because she loves. Actually, her and Parvati are similar. They love poetry.
Okay.
Forget me, or forget anyone else. These
Really?
guys have real passion.
Yeah.
Yeah, those ones are different.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also Professor Timothy Wangusa. Those guys are really on another level. And Augustine Bukenya, the most humble man you'll ever meet. Very humble.
Yeah.
He's 80s now. I think he's coming into his 80s. Oh, he's already there, I think. But he's old school. He's from my dad's generation. But man, he acts like his spirit. You know, they say that youth, it's so bad that youth is wasted on the young. You know, so the truth is he's youthful. His spirit is young. You know, he's ready to keep on going. You can't know. That's why he can mix with all kinds of ages, all kinds of people.
Okay.
So that kind of spirit is special.
Yeah.
That's one thing I always try and cultivate.
Yeah.
That kind of spirit.
Sweet. I know you've been on several stages. You reciting poems. There was a time you hosted some comedy something.
Yeah. Stand up and slam.
Stand up and slam. I remember.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah.
Yeah, tell me about stand up and slam.
That was fantastic because it's like I always wanted to host a comedy show, right? Something which was because I'm also a big fan of comedy. You know, from back in the day. I mean, we can discuss with people like the Timothy Nyanzis, you know, those guys, Daniel Mara. We can discuss with those guys about the dimensions of comedy for hours. Now, when we had that show and you had guys in Arena, there was a place called Arena at the time in Kisimenti. Guys would get on stage and they just do their thing. Then poets come, do their thing. And it was open mic. And want to do something like that again, but for the younger generation.
Okay.
Yeah, we're working on something with somebody. Hopefully, we'll have that stage. Even Fasihi will back that, where we have that stage where there's high school kids, but they're all doing open mic.
Okay.
Then you find the next best poet, next best comedian, next best rapper, you know, in Uganda, because they're there and they're really good people. But then there are too many gatekeepers, you know, and the gatekeepers in all these areas, they always try and tell you what's this, what's that. They always try and, even in poetry, they're telling you what's poetry, what's not.
Sure.
Yeah, I would like to say to them, to hell with them. Again, to hell with them. They either open things up or they become obsolete. You know what I mean? So the world is becoming more, as they call, multipolar, where there's so many polars of power.
Yeah.
So what we need is youth also to have their power.
Okay.
They come in and people like me not to stand in their way just because I'm threatened by a young guy who is better than me, or a young lady who can, you know, who's much more articulate than me. I shouldn't be that. If I've got my game tight and I see she's good, we nurture her while you know, improving my own game. That's what Eddie Murphy did for Chris Rock.
Sure.
Chris Rock, he met him when he was 18 and he just said, this guy is funny. He's a funny nigga. Roll with me. He took him around. You know, this is a kid who was a nobody. Took him around and made him into who he is today. That's why when you see the guys together, the guy is respectful to Eddie Murphy. Okay. So that show, what we had, we wanted to nurture that, but it lasted for like 8 months. Yeah. Or less. Okay. But it had a good run. Yeah. We had some good times. Yeah. Of course, there were a lot of beers too. We used to get a lot real drunk. That was nice. We used to get high, a lot. Okay, I'm not encouraging people to get high. Yeah. But
you're not discouraging them either.
No. It's good that I had stopped drinking myself, but then I came back because I think it's good to have a balance. Yeah. Make it fun, make it serious. And it should not all be fun. It should not all be serious. Yeah. At least a good blend of both is really healthy to the human mind and body, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Sounds great. So, in line with comedy and being on stage, have you bombed before?
No, it's so many times.
Really?
Not so many times anyway. That's unfair.
I know, unfair.
About
which one do you remember?
3 times. Yeah, 3 times where the crowd was just. But that was mainly because of me being scared to come out of my shell. At times you want to play according to what you think the audience wants to hear. Sure. And that was a big blunder. So I did that, I think, at another comedy night with Daniel Mara, when he had that night back in the day at Golden Tulip. You know Golden Tulip? Yeah. At the top. So we had that comedy show there. I did that. Guys were like, "Oh, your delivery is excellent." What? But you know, they didn't
Was that
really
the
talk
first-
about the content.
Was that the first time
So
you
I
were doing
showed
it?
it wasn't funny. Huh?
Was that the first time you were doing it?
Yeah, where I went fully onto stage.
Yeah.
You know, like where you go on stage and say, "Today I'm doing stand-up."
Oh, yeah.
There are times when you're on stage and you're making people laugh, but you've not told them. You've not like prepared your mind that saying, "I'm doing stand-up." When we did stand-up and slam, I was the host, you
Yeah.
know, not the act. So there's a crucial difference in the
Yeah.
sense that you kind of embody what they are doing, and instead of what you want to bring. Yeah, because you have to embody the show because you're the host. Yeah, so that's the difference.
Yeah.
So what happens this time? I decided to do the stand-up, and man, it was they didn't boo me.
Yeah.
But that part was not the best.
Yeah.
Then I think 2 other times.
I'm curious to know, just at that point.
Yeah.
Like, what's that you did that... I know you felt it yourself. Like,
Yeah,
what's that
yeah.
that you did? Where did you go wrong that made them...
I think I was trying to be, you know, where you're like trying to pick up some certain personas. Like I would like, because it was an intelligent crowd, so I said, let me give them some Seinfeld. There's a guy called Jerry Seinfeld. So you give them some comedy which is slightly sophisticated, not even slightly, simple but sophisticated in the sense that you touch on everyday mundane issues, but you turn them around and make them look special and peculiar. Yet they're just common and, you know, out there. So that's what I did. I was like, you know, let me just pick up anything, you know, and just make it, even something political. Yeah, I can't even remember the jokes I
Yeah.
did, because maybe I shouldn't punish the viewer with those jokes. Since the other guys didn't like them, I don't think they liked them either.
Okay.
But I could tell when you're on stage, you
Yeah.
can tell when you're dying. They
Yeah.
call it dying. Comedians call it dying.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you're on stage, you can tell when you're dying, and it's painful. I've seen it happen to other Ugandan comedians, many.
I've seen that. I've seen
Yeah.
that too.
So
And
many.
oh my God. Many times I wish I could go and save them.
Yeah.
Like everybody is looking at you, waiting for the next move, and then you're you call it what? Dying?
Dying.
Dying, yeah.
Dying on stage.
Yeah.
You're dead.
Yeah.
You're dying, and
Yeah.
the bigger the crowd,
Yeah.
the bigger the
Yeah.
tragedy. You know, the bigger the death.
You gotta-
Because if you die on the stage, like we used to have a stage of 1,000 people at Rock Garden, Rock Bar, sorry,
Yeah.
and we would go there as poets, and you know, you tell a few jokes, and yeah, people liked it, but on the whole, you also have to realize who your audience is. If you're
Okay.
going to tell jokes, because I can assure you, even people like the greats, like say Louis C.K. or Trevor Noah. Trevor Noah, yeah, he's not yet there though.
Really?
But yeah, okay, he's not.
I would say, no, I mean, if somebody that is in this space, if
Yeah,
somebody
yeah.
like you says that, I
Yeah,
believe you.
yeah,
If you ask me, I would think Trevor Noah is bang, bang there, top.
yeah. Trevor Noah was at his best, in my opinion, when he was in South Africa. That's when he was on his way there.
Okay.
Then when he got into the US, when he went to the US, he kind of he felt to navigate that thicket of activism, politics, because there's so much activism in comedy now. It's
Okay.
more commentary than comedy. Yeah. So when people watch Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle, they no longer laugh out loud. They just say, "Yeah, that guy's got it. He's got it." But that's not how comedy should be.
Okay.
You know, it's not only about, you know, you transmitting knowledge. It should be about you actually making people laugh.
Sure.
Yeah, because what people like the Richard Pryors used to do, you would laugh, then later on you say, "Man, but that's true." But now it's the other way around. You're like, "That's true." Then later you just laugh a little. That's it. So
Okay.
the laughter is an afterthought. Yeah, the laughter should be the main thing. So that's it. That's why I don't think Trevor Noah is there now, because I watched his latest specials. And I'm not the only one who thinks that. Of course, I may not be his target audience, but I once was.
Yeah.
I loved his voices in South Africa. I loved the authenticity. I loved that humor was superb. When you look at who else, there are a number of guys who I would say who have their target audiences, like Jerry Seinfeld himself. But Jerry Seinfeld, if you brought him here to Uganda, nobody would laugh.
I agree.
Yet the guy is worth 950 million from comedy alone. Who has that? Yeah. Comedy alone, by the way.
950 million.
Yeah, he doesn't do shoes, he doesn't do all the other stuff that Kevin Hart does. No, just comedy, making people laugh. 950 million?
Yeah.
You're a genius. Yeah. Jerry Seinfeld, whether you like it or not, is a legend. But he would not make anyone laugh. This guy, Joseph Opio, I used to watch his shows. He used to die on stage consistently in Uganda. Now he's abroad, everyone is suddenly remembering he's funny. That's hypocrisy.
Joseph Opio.
Yeah, the guy of the what was that? That Trevor Noah show, the Daily Show. Yeah, he writes for the Daily Show.
Okay.
They're two Ugandans who write for the Daily Show.
Yeah.
I think apparently they're all in New Vision originally.
Okay.
They're both in New Vision rather. So those two guys, but Joseph Opio is not funny to us. And I'm not going to say to us, even to me. I've tried to watch him. I don't really feel him, but that's me. He has his audience.
I agree.
I mean, he's doing a good job at the Daily Show. Is he the only one who could do it? That's very wrong. That's why I need Ugandan talents to come up. We can have 1 million Joseph Opios, right? I'm not trying to dismiss him, but we can have 1 million Joseph Opios if they're given the avenues.
Yeah.
Who's given the avenues? We don't have to make a big hoorah about it. We just have to do a show where guys are given open mic. And once the audience falls in love with you, you're done. As Drake said at the Grammys, it's only about that. It's only about you. If the audience can say, man, this touched me, your words, your whatever. You don't need to win awards. I've tried to also do writing competitions. I think I did 1.
Yeah.
2. Yeah, I did 2. I don't know what position I came, but probably last. But the point is, when I write now, but I mean, nobody got back to me.
Yeah.
I think it was just terrible.
Yeah.
You know, there's usually a short list for other people, but for me, I guess I was not included in that. But that's okay, because now when I look at it, my writing impacts different people. They come to me and tell me, Philip, this is what, of different ages, this is what your writing means to me. And that's what counts. That's what Drake was saying. Not the awards. The awards are just like dog and pony shows. You know, it's just the brass rings are not what make the art. The art makes the art in the sense that it touches people, you know, in a way that is hard. It's hard to approximate. Very hard. In fact, it's impossible to approximate, because some people, you don't know how your words or your art impacts on their lives and changes their lives. It's very hard to tell.
Yeah.
Someone can tell you, and you'll never know until you will probably never. Yeah. And you will never believe it anyway. Yeah. Let me tell you that, because I'm a skeptic, so I'll always say that. But it does. Yeah, it does. And I respect art like that. I don't see much of it in Uganda today, where what the Jose Chameleons were doing, you have to give them respect. At the turn of this century, the early 2000s, they were really, you know, they revolutionized the whole, because I used to see these dancehall guys and everything, when they were not earning a coin, Shanks VVD, Rugged D managed to transition, but he was not the one who created the transition.
Okay.
He just rode the crest of a wave. The people who created the transition, Chameleon, Bebe, Bobby, those 3 guys, we have to give it to them, man.
Really?
Yeah, those guys, they really, they fought each other.
Yeah.
You know, I've tried to study their history. They fought each other, and in the process, they created that mainstream appeal. Before, we saw those guys as losers, those kind of musicians. Now kids want to be like them.
Sure.
Not only kids, even Museveni has a song. President Museveni, let me say that. Even he has songs. I mean, being an artist is no longer to be frowned upon. Yeah. So I respect those 3 guys.
I have songs myself.
Yeah, you see? You see, those guys are really, I think we have to give credit where it's due. So that's what we need right now in poetry and in comedy. We need that kind of triumvirate, as they call it, those 3. You know, you don't need 3 people. They don't have to be the big 3. They can be the big 6, big 10. I don't care. The numbers immaterial. What we need is a change in the way we do things. Okay. Right now in the poetry society, poetry space, we attack each other too much. You know, poets famously or notoriously know alls. You know, we know it all. But what do we know? You know, because poetry is about sensibilities, not necessarily sense. Yeah, so, because how many poets read books? Yeah, how many poets?
It's about sensibilities and
not necessarily sense. Yeah, because how many poets follow a logical thought process? They just put out their stuff, their feelings. Sure. Many of them.
I agree.
And they just let it flow.
I agree.
Right? Then there are guys like professors, thinkers, lawyers, and those guys who follow a logical path of thinking. Poets, not much. That's why they're not called to these big conferences to give speeches. Uganda poets, when? They're called to entertain, which I find very insulting. because at the end of the day, poets are the guys who change the world. Just look at all the traditions, even the Bible and the Quran itself. If you look at the type of writing there, so poetic. Yeah. So poetry has been a force for change. These movies, you see, the scripts, poetry. I can give you a whole litany. Military science, a lot of it inspired by poetry.
Yeah.
The military. You go to Rwanda. Rwanda, they have a special place for their poets. China, US. President Museveni needs to get on top of that. Otherwise, he's going to be left behind.
I agree entirely.
Yeah, he's going to be left behind.
Yeah.
Even if his son comes and he's always talking about sports, that's so outdated. Everyone knows sports. It brings people together. Fund it, no problem. But you forget the arts at your own detriment. And they think that they can stifle thinking by saying, the arts should not be given that free reign. Or maybe they just don't understand the animal. Yeah, maybe they think it's going to be turned against them. It doesn't matter really, because at the end of the day, they can create their own art from art. We had people like the Aristotles, we had people like Lord Byron. They were all pro-establishment. The best thinkers and the best artists in history were pro-establishment. Today we have the Mwendas, who is pro-establishment. So let it be a contention of ideas between pro and anti.
Okay.
And see who wins.
Yeah.
In the marketplace of ideas.
Interesting. Okay, sounds good. Who has inspired you the most? In terms of in poetry. Yes.
In terms of poetry,
the biggest inspiration.
A guy called Ogden Nash. Yeah.
Okay.
There's several. That's why I paused a little.
Yeah.
But I'll give it to Ogden Nash. Why? Because he was humorous. He fused comedy and poetry and made it so sexy, as I say. He was an old guy who was, even if you Google him, I think he's the first poet or one of the in modern times who retired with $1 million. It's like in the 50s or 60s. I think I'll confirm. No, 70s. But that's, if you take into account inflation and everything, that's like probably $10 million today. From poetry.
Yeah.
And advertising. He also became a good copywriter. Okay. So that guy is my guy, I would say. He's funny. His stuff was witty. It was so clever. He's the guy who said the problem with kittens is they become cats. He's the kind of guy who would look at the things. He would analyze marriage and, show the basic elements of marriage. Through a funny thing, he would say that the woman wants to sleep with the window open and the guy wants to sleep with it closed. That's the fun aspect. He would show how he would use certain imagery which would be funny and it would really touch, it would really hit the point.
Okay.
So he was a big inspiration.
I need to look him up.
Yeah. And of course Maya Angelou, why? Because she's her language skills.
Okay.
Yeah. Her language skills were she was really off the charts. She's one of the greatest.
Yeah.
Top 10 of all time.
Yeah.
She's there. I think I'll give her in the top 5.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's so brilliant.
Yeah.
So brilliant and so relevant, because there's some poets who are not relevant. Of course, there are guys who like Lord Byron who added on the dimension of debauchery because he was the craziest guy who ever lived. By the time he left his secrets at the time of his death, they had to destroy his personal documents because they were going to embarrass him and maybe even the state.
Why? What do you mean?
So scandalous. So scandalous.
Yeah.
I think he even went to a village one time and slept with 200 women. So he was a crazy guy, Lord Byron.
Yeah.
But you see, it's connected. Lord Byron was the Byronic myth is one thing which also inspired James Bond.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can see the connection. That's how. And I like James Bond. I ended up liking Byron. So there's a tradition which I follow.
Yeah.
I think it's not by design. It's just by accident. Where I like something, but then I find out it's related to something else. Then it's related to something else. Then suddenly it comes back to me. And I'm like, wow, all these things express who I am.
Yeah.
So I think at the end of the day, as they say with a good book, you don't find it, it finds you. Yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah.
It's like you'll only get it when you start reading. Like to the audience, if you start reading really, assiduously and everything, give it time, books will start looking for you. They'll be like, that's my guy. Yeah, you'll be surprised. You think a book has no power.
Okay.
Books are powerful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They actually look
Yeah.
for individuals. I know many people, I would say, and people be like, no, that's impossible. A book is inanimate.
Yeah.
But then it's animated by words. So it comes to life because of the words which are indwelled in the book.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you can say that since it's a living life force, it can actually inspire you.
Agree.
And the fact that it can inspire you, that means it can actually come to you.
Okay.
Yeah, because inspiration is inside you. It's not outside you. So that's how books look for you.
Okay.
They look for that spark inside you and try and rekindle it or kindle it depending on the stage of light you are at. Then they take you to another place, a new
Okay.
dimension.
Yeah.
They light the way.
Yeah. Okay.
Which many people call Illuminati, but unfortunately, sorry guys, we're not into that.
Illuminati.
Yeah, I don't believe
And then
that stuff.
when you start speaking about the Illuminati, people think about the devil and stuff.
Yeah, because it means light, right?
Light, yeah.
No,
They're seeing,
illuminating.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They see slightly beyond what the ordinary person will see.
yeah, and
Enlightened. Yeah.
enlightened, and unless they have a message
Yeah.
to destroy the world like Adolf Hitler did,
Yeah.
then being Illuminati, I don't think it's a big deal. If they come out and say, you know what, we want to heal, the world, mankind, make health, do away with cancer, do away with bad economies, want to heal the world. We don't want to control your minds. As long as they're saying good stuff, where they want you to be individuals, where they want you to grow, that's okay. If you believe in God, they want you to be more strong in your faith. If that's Illuminati, then let's have it. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then if you have a different message where people want to kill people, that's different. And you see, we had in Rwanda Interahamwe, right?
Yeah.
Those who attacked together, as it's called. Compare them to Illuminati. These guys are kind of evil. You know, you cut people up with machetes.
Yeah.
I went through that because I was here in secondary school, and we used to see bodies. You know, they would come into Lake Victoria. It was really a terrible time.
Yeah.
And Ugandans were making jokes as usual. You know, we always do that.
We joke about anything and everything.
Man saying that the fish are
I know.
becoming fat because they're eating people from Rwanda.
Yeah.
But this is just across the way. These are our same people. Regardless of what people think, they're our same people. So the fact that this can happen to them, they're butchered. And then we start talking about Illuminati. Those are non-issues to me. The issue to me is we need art which can solve the conflicts, the tension, the distrust in our society.
Okay.
And not something which inflames it. Many poets want to inflame things.
For likes.
Yeah, for likes.
And follows.
It's shock value.
Yeah.
Shock value. We have what they call the shock jocks, shock jock poets. I won't mention them, but they're there, and the audience knows them. And at the end of the day, they'll see that they're going nowhere. They can get even a million likes, but where is it going to take them? They should know about the history of celebrity.
Yeah.
It's first of all fleeting, and it's never deep. In about the guys who used to be the main people in Churchill's time, not Churchill, Shakespeare's time, the guys who hit headlines even more than Churchill, Shakespeare, sorry, are not known now. There were guys who I think were popular in Jesus' society, in Nazareth. Where are they now? We don't know them. We know Jesus because he had a deeper message.
Okay.
You know, it's all about depth. But if you think you're going to be remembered because I had 500,000 followers, that's the height of immaturity.
I agree. True.
It's the height of immaturity.
True.
And the problem is many of us think that way. So me, I do my thing.
Yeah.
If people want to follow, let them follow. If they don't, that's good for you.
Speaking of following, if you haven't subscribed yet and followed us, this is the perfect time for you to click that subscribe button. You know,
Good coffee.
you love it.
Yeah, very strong.
And then I won't tell you what I'm sipping in, but I'm loving it too.
It's good stuff. Yeah.
Now, Phil, that was in line with poetry. How about in the comedy space?
Oh yeah, the comedy space. Man.
Who has inspired you?
The comedy side, there had to be Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy, like I talked about Louis C.K. Aziz Ansari, because of his writing skills, that guy is good. You should watch second to none. He only did 2 seasons, but I hear they're coming with a third. Genius, that guy. Who else? There's, of course, the infamous Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
You watch his stand-up. Oh, crazy. These are my top 10 guys.
Yeah.
I mean, these are guys who are revolution. They inspired me. On a more local level, I would say I really appreciate the work people like Daniel Mara, even Patrick Salvador, Idringe are doing.
You've said very many nice things about Dan Omara.
Yeah. I admire those guys
Yeah.
because when I used to work in the barracks, that's where I used to work, by the way.
Yeah.
I used to be, like I told our editor of Asihi, Dumba Nyanzi, I told him, I used to follow you when you used to write for Kampala Sun. He couldn't believe it. He was like, Philip's exaggerating. But I was saying that I used to religiously, Friday, get the paper, read. I would be in Nakasongola town. I'll leave the barracks in Nakasongola town. There was a pork joint, get that joint every Friday. Our first exercise, I'll go walk all the way to Nakasongola town.
Yeah.
That was my exercise. So, and that was what? Like 30 kilometers or so, walk there. When I get there, I settle my own place. I got my beers, I got my pork, and I got my Kampala Sun. I read.
Nice.
Dumba Nyanzi was my main guy. That is a true story. Then I used to watch How the Salvador, Daniel Mara, Alex Muhanji, although I don't really like his comedy that much, but I appreciate his hustle. Those three. And of course, Anne Kansime. Then there's Cotilda, nice chick, nice, attractive lady. So those ones, I watched their trajectory, and I would be like, man, it would be nice to be like them, because the barracks are more constrained. I was in the armed services, not armed forces, so you provide support to the soldiers and to the Minister of Defense. But the thing is, you're straitjacketed. You're restricted. They may not tell you not to do certain things, but you can feel it.
I agree.
Yeah. There are procedures you just
can't
have
do
to
that.
follow.
Yeah.
So these guys represent freedom to me, and my situation was more like bondage. Yet I would not say I was a slave. I could leave, and I did. So when I left, I had to go and check on these guys. I started working with them off the bat. Rock Garden. I saw how they operated.
Yeah.
I learned some things from them. So I'll always be appreciative of them. I know many guys will be like, those guys are not funny, Ugandans. But to me, they did a good job. Yeah, they continue to do a good job. They just need to be more aggressive in their content.
Oh, yeah.
Develop content, new content.
Yeah.
That's all.
That's-
Then they'll be fantastic.
Yeah. Now, speaking of developing new content and how the guy is actually good.
Yeah.
What do you think about what is that the Nigerians have figured out that you think we haven't cracked yet? Because everything they seem to touch works.
Yeah, they have the numbers, first of all.
Yeah.
And they're damn good.
Yeah.
They do. Even literature-wise, they're
Yeah.
good. But I think, honestly, Ugandans, we kind of like, we're trying to become a replica of what they're doing, or replicas of what they're doing,
Okay.
instead of finding our own voices, because we got a lot of humor. As we said, we laugh about everything, even a lot of tragedy, until it happens to us. Then we do that. We have a lot of fun,
Yeah.
right? I think we have much more fun than the Nigerians. No offense to Nigeria, but when they come to Uganda,
Yeah.
they don't want to leave.
Yeah.
When we go there, we just want to make money, then leave, spend it here. That's a true
Keeping
story.
it real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I work for Pulse Uganda,
Yeah.
and the parent, you could say the biggest in that family was Pulse Nigeria. But you'd see when the Nigerians come here, the editors, the content, they're a good group. When they would come here, they would have a blast, and they would want to stay here.
Yeah. I saw something on social media where somebody said, this was actually a Nigerian.
Yeah.
They said if they died, they
Yeah.
wanted to be buried next to Ugandans.
Yeah.
Even if they died, they just want to be close to Ugandans in heaven. Because Ugandans are full of humor.
Yeah, you see? And now if
yeah.
we could reflect that humor into our art without trying to reference we can only reference Nigeria as maybe as a benchmark.
Oh, yeah.
That's all. But then we should reflect that humor and that sense of fun into our art. You'd see how far we'd go. We're already doing it, but we're not supporting each other enough. But that's okay.
Yeah.
Because the truth is, it's good when the audience shuns you, because it makes you work harder. You work harder. Then finally, trust me, an audience will find you. And Ugandans will have to appreciate.
Yeah.
They will. But you have to just keep grinding.
Okay.
Yeah, never give up. Because it can even be lifelong. I mean, one of
Yeah.
my favorite, I forgot to say, was Rodney Dangerfield. He was a salesman, aluminium sidings. He used to sell those. He started comedy when he was 19. Then he did it for 10 years and failed miserably. So he said, to hell. He went back into salesmanship, started selling, but always writing jokes on the side. Then he went back when he was 44. After like 6 years, he became a legend. He's the one who brought all the Jim Carreys you see, all the guys you see. Rodney Dangerfield used to perfect his art. He would write a joke this way, this way. That's what I like to do. Write your pieces in 10 different ways until you get the exact piece you want. And even then, you're not satisfied, but you put it out there. And then if you see it a week, you refine it again later on.
Yeah.
You can't run refining because what's about refining?
Yeah.
So refinement, rather.
Refinement,
Yeah.
Okay. Did you watch the explosive interview that Katt Williams did with Shannon Sharpe?
Yeah, I did.
Where he went on rampage,
blasting
just about everyone. He touched on Eddie Murphy, he touched on Kevin Hart and everything.
I didn't hear what he said about Eddie Murphy. Oh, okay, he said
wearing
Eddie Murphy.
dresses and stuff.
Oh, yeah. But even Dave Chappelle was worn a dress.
No.
Can you Google it? Google it.
Let the viewers look it up.
Google it. I think I'll try and get
I don't think he has.
I've forgotten it. This is 1993, 94.
Yeah.
It's you Google Dave Chappelle in a dress.
Hey.
And then go to the images. You will see.
Yeah.
I think it was Three Musketeers or something.
Really?
Yeah. But wearing a dress, I mean, the end of the day, I would say the only thing I have against it is like it's easy comedy. Because as soon as a person sees a guy in a dress, they start laughing. So it's an easy way out for jokes.
Okay.
Because you look ridiculous immediately, traditionally. Although the world is changing where people are saying there's no longer gender, all that nonsense. Excuse me for being woke. These woke guys are like, nonsense, there are no genders. Which is really crazy. But the thing is this, in this world, it becomes less funny and more political.
Okay.
Because people are like, if these guys are trying to tell us there are no genders by having a man dress up as a woman, so we're not sure whether he's a man or a woman, maybe there are no men or women. That's kind of the agenda, I think, the other subtext.
Okay.
Or they're trying to emasculate the male, the African male, and show that he's weak because he's a woman. But being a woman, is that weak? I don't know.
No.
He came from the strongest women.
I agree.
Yeah, so if a woman dresses up as a man, does that mean she's strong? Is she being emasculated? We have to look at many dimensions. This is just easy humor. White artists always perform this stuff, And Katt Williams, as Dave Chappelle said, he didn't mention one white comedian
that has worn a dress.
Not even the wearing the dress, but who has a problem.
Okay.
Because they're establishment white comedians too. You can't tell me Kevin Hart is a plant. What about the white guys who are plants? What about the less talented white guys who made it? We all know Robin Williams, the late, used to steal jokes. At one point for 2 or 3 years, and he stopped and apologized. Then we have different guys, Dane Cook, who used to sell out arena. He was accused from stealing from Louis C.K. There's a list of guys, white guys, who have done indiscretions, which Katt could have touched on to illustrate a larger point that the industry is not what it seems. And we would have bought it. Would have been, okay, the industry is not what it seems. We're going to take that. We're going to take that from Katt because he has given us a very broad and objective picture. But once he's subjective, he's always going after Kevin Hart, his fellow short guy. Now, Kevin Hart...
There's something he said, I think this wasn't Kevin Hart, he was talking about Dave, the entertainer, Cedric the entertainer.
Yeah.
He said he was sitting there with both his hands on his tummy like this, and it was... the illustration of how the guy was seated was funny.
Yeah. No, Katt Williams, without a doubt, is a funny guy. And he's a nice guy.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah, moralistic.
Yeah.
Although when he says, I never did drugs, the guy was smokes weed.
Yeah.
Probably, I hear, does harder stuff.
Okay.
So Katt Williams was not, he tried to come across as a paragon of virtue. That I'm all good, they're all bad. That dichotomy which I hate. Good versus evil, white versus black, me versus you.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you get sanctimonious and judgmental. You start saying that guy is this. Because he was judging them, all these guys. He was judging the Kevin Hart, saying they got the free ride, not free ride, but they were helped. Yeah, but even Katt Williams, as they say, if you look at the other side of the story, his drug problems messed up his opportunities. I've done drugs before. I know what it costs, you know. At the end of the day, you can you make mistakes, you know, you even forget deadlines, you do all those things.
Yeah.
And it costs studios money. That's what Kevin Hart was telling him. And let's also not look at, because he's, at the end of the day, he's like, you know, society also likes David versus Goliath stories.
Okay.
You know, the underdog. Katt Williams is the underdog. Hollywood is Goliath.
Correct. I agree.
Yeah, it's Goliath. So we always want the underdog to win because we're underdogs. Most of us are underdogs. I understand that, but it should not be at the expense of the truth. You know what I mean? If there's a truth to be had or to be understood, why should we just take the side of the underdog because the underdog is the underdog and we can relate to the underdog? What about the fact that the underdog could be lying or could be not with Katt Williams? I don't think he was lying. I think he was just inaccurate.
Yeah.
I don't think he was right. I don't think so.
Really? Are you just being you might be a strong Kevin Hart fan and you're just trying to, you know.
Yeah, actually I like Kevin Hart better than Katt. I used to love Katt funny those days, but that's before 2006.
What do you like
I think
so
his
much?
stuff is not that funny now, but the old Katt, few guys could touch it. Few. I mean, he could make me laugh just like the way Eddie Murphy did in Delirious, which was not easy. Kevin Hart, not only that, forgetting Kevin Hart, he attacked Cedric, he attacked Steve Harvey, he attacked those guys who I'm not a very big fan of. I also watched Monique coming on and attacking Kevin Hart too. And it's very unfortunate he did that to her.
Okay.
But the truth is, as they said about Cristiano Ronaldo, you don't become that good without having enemies. Yeah. If you have no enemies, then the truth is, maybe you're not good.
You're not good.
Yeah, the bigger you are, the more your enemies.
Yeah.
And there will always be people trying to bring you down.
True.
Yeah. For the right reasons and the wrong reasons.
True. Have you noticed that in Uganda? I don't know if it's only in Uganda or everywhere.
Uganda, it's everywhere.
Every time you try to do something, I'd like you to go on social media and see if somebody started doing something, there's going to be a string of other people that are going to start pulling them down.
That's true.
Insult them on live, you know, those lives that they do, write funny things about them and stuff. Is it just something about us, or is that how it's happening in other countries? We are just not focusing on that. Is that how it is everywhere, you think? Like when somebody tries to make it naturally, you know, people just want to pull them down. And that takes me back to the question about what we haven't figured out.
Yeah.
That the Nigerians are doing that we are currently not doing. Do you think they're also pulling each other down like we are?
Yeah, everywhere we go, there's that locust in a basket mentality, you know, where you just one jumps up, you knock down the other. But not to this extent. You know, Ugandans, like, okay, let's look at it this way.
Yeah.
Let's say in America, you look at people like Eddie Murphy. Look at Ed Sheeran, who's, you know, he used to sleep on this guy's couch. What's this guy's name? I forgot his name. But then, then also there's this other guy who did the Black Panther, the guy who died. Denzel put him through school, that kind of thing. Eddie Murphy brought up Chris Rock. I mean, there are countless of examples. So many. I mean, I can give you a number, right? And until we get tired, this show can be about that.
Yeah.
But now look at Ugandans. How many Ugandans have brought up Ugandans? The last ones I heard was of Milton Obote. Milton Obote, may his soul rest in peace. He brought up the former governor who died.
Okay.
He brought up Rugunda, Ruhakana Rugunda. He brought up Olaro Tunu. He also brought up, there are about 20, 30 people who he actually turned into what they became, but they all turned on him, unfortunately. And if you see, most of them were not even of his tribe. You get what I mean? Huh? This was so beautiful that at the end of the day, when you look at that, that should have been a template to how we do poetry. To how we conduct ourselves. But also in modern times, as much as people don't like Andrew Mwenda, he has also brought up people. I don't want to name the people because they may say that wasn't him, it was me. But the truth is, I've worked with people around him, and you see all these young guys traveling to top universities around, who have worked in journalism, who have been close to Mwenda. You know, Mwenda is one of those guys. You look at other journalists. What are we doing for the younger people? So I applaud Mwenda. could be because his idol was Milton Obote.
Okay.
He could be emulating him.
Yeah.
I don't know when they can talk for himself, but it could be that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Huh?
Yeah.
But I don't see it here in Uganda. People don't help each other. They don't. Daniel O'Mara has also done it with comedians. Daniel O'Mara is also good with comedians. I mean, the truth is, he's brought up. So there are several comedians who he's written for, trained. These are facts, and comedians cannot dispute this. Even Salvador, to a great extent, has put people on his platforms, which is good. Daniel O'Mara has gone further. He's got them on platforms and trained them. So that one is also rare, and I hope he never loses that spirit, because he could lose it because people, are not appreciating him the way he should be appreciated.
Okay.
But time will come. He's not too old.
Yeah.
He's in his 30s.
Yeah.
Let him give him time. So the story, I mean, there are many. Let's look at those positive examples. Majority of Ugandans, say in the urban, maybe in the villages, they support. I don't know. I don't live in the village, but here in urban Kampala, nah. There are many guys who are like, you try something, and like with me, like I was telling people, when I left the barracks, and I went into the poetry fraternity, some people told me, man, and the performance fraternity, not only poetry, comedy and everything. They told me, you're never gonna make it because of, you were tied to the establishment. Your father helped create the establishment, all that stuff. You're never gonna make it. Now, when I start making a little traction, they're saying it's because of your father and because of the establishment. So you can't win.
Should give you some credit.
Yeah, they can't. Yeah, because I've put in the work. There are times when, as I told you offline, times when I was not getting paid a coin. And I'm not getting the kind of money I want to get now, but it's coming. When it comes, I'm sure guys will say, I'm a plant.
Yeah.
That's why that was the essence of my argument with against Katt Williams, because I can reflect it in my own life. I can relate to it. People always looking for reasons to show that you're not as good as you say you are. Because they're asking, why you? Why not me? That's the problem we have.
Yeah.
And many of the guys who I see supporting Katt Williams are those kind of people. There are some who are genuinely, they don't like hidden agenda, but everywhere there are agendas.
I agree.
Everywhere, everyone has an agenda. If the gays have an agenda, why can't you have yours?
Yeah.
Don't just say they shouldn't have an agenda. Who told you they shouldn't have an agenda?
Speaking of an agenda, Katt said he's not he's not homophobic. He's just pro.
Yeah.
I'm not homophobic. I'm pro-pussy. There is a difference.
That is like me. I agree with that.
He's pro. I mean, that does not mean he's homophobic. He's not. Yeah.
He's not. I think Katt Williams, he has never come across as homophobic.
Yeah.
At least I've been watching him for a long time.
He's just pro.
He's not one of those
else.
guys. He's never been accused of that. Eminem has been accused. Everybody has been accused of being anti-gay.
Yeah.
Not almost everybody that you may know. As soon as you make a step out of line, and it's more common today because the agenda is being pushed forward. I have no problem with gays wanting an equal stake in society. They just don't have to make it in such a way that their interests are primordial to our interests. Africans at the moment were going through a lot of stuff. Poverty, disease. There's a long litany of stuff. Homosexuality or sexual orientation is at the bottom. We don't care about that. Let's not make it an issue here. Because there, if you make it an issue, they'll be pushed back. So if you're telling people that, hey, President Museveni recognize gay rights recognize it as something, as a pressing, urgent concern, recognize it. You're passing on the wrong message. Our society, first of all, the way you pass on messages is not by bulldozing people, not by force feeding people. You understand where they're coming from. When you've understood where they're coming from, then you'll be able to temper or let me say fashion their thinking towards what you want them to think. That's how you do it. It's like when you're talking to a lady, she's telling you, no, I just don't like guys who do A, B, C, and D, but you insist, no, you're gonna like such guys. That's like rape. It's like you're forcing yourself onto people, and that's wrong. So what we're saying is, the agenda is okay. It's okay. But let it not be something which is countervailing to what we need, to what Africans are asking for. The average Ugandan does not care where you sleep or who you sleep with. They do care where they're going to get their next meal, their next job, their next what. Those are the issues. Make those number one, solve those, then we can sleep with whoever you want us to sleep with.
Yeah.
But if you help us with that, then you're helping us big time.
Sure.
Because really, you're even making things worse. Because the person is broke, they're gay. That's a double whammy. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because guys, you're known to be gay, you're broke, everyone will be like, that's why you're gay. That, you know, it's like you'll be a total outcast. Yeah. You can't go to America because they don't have all that money because they know there are so many phonies these days. I was at Nyege Nyege 4 years ago, and I hosted a show there. And I had a show with gays, but we took it off the air.
Okay.
I heard their views. And many of them were telling, not many of them because we were not too many, but two or three of them was talking about funding. They need funding. Now, you see, funding that shows you're there for the money or what? Sure. Just live your life. Why would I need funding to sleep with a beautiful lady?
I agree. I know.
Yeah, unless she's a prostitute, there I'll need funding because I'll be like, I need a 20K to go and sleep with a lady, 200K, 500K, whatever the going rate is, you know? Yeah. But then why would I need funding to live my life? Just live it. No one's making it an agenda, you know, in Uganda. But then when that's what they said. Then there was somebody else. He had this these colorings. You know, I interviewed him all over his nails, and he told me, man, he said that what we do, we have parties, then we all get messed up. We all get drunk as hell on drugs, different types of intoxicants. I said, why? The guy said, well, the reason is we want you to become like free. You know what I mean? You lose your inhibitions. Yeah. So like, because there you can now, because you're so blown out of your mind, possibly you can sleep with anyone.
I agree.
So that's what they want. So I was like, why do you have to get people drunk? That's almost like a cult. I
agree.
Where you get people drunk to kill people. It's wrong. It's totally wrong. So when I heard that, I was like, wow, these conspiracies are I heard it from the horse's mouth because I was like the only one there. But then there was also an older homosexual from Chicago who said something very nice because I was hosting, but I got my pronouns wrong. So a British woman came and said, let me handle this, you're being insensitive. I was like, okay. So she handled it and I listened. Now this old guy from Chicago told me, Philip, don't worry. I think he's approaching 70. Even me, I don't know the pronouns. I'm from the old school, so I don't understand this new way. So even this is a guy who had nothing. We hung out with other guys, you know, we were friends, you know. Okay. But then now when you look at these guys, they want to demonize you because I don't know how the she's and the he's and they say I'm, homophobic because of that, or I say something against seemingly gay people. That's wrong. That's wrong. In our art, that is the big danger we're getting right now, even in poetry and comedy. The funding, and this is what the government should know. They're saying, oh, they've got a Western agenda. Yes, they do. What are you doing about it? Sure. Yeah. Why don't you fund the artists like the Daniel Mara, myself, and different guys? Give them the money to push your agenda. You know, it doesn't have to be about Museveni staying in power. It can be about Uganda being great.
I agree.
That's it. Push that agenda. Yeah. You've got the artists. You've got the money. Do that instead of complaining about the gays. If you give artists empowerment, financial empowerment in Uganda, they'll forget those guys, they'll be dislocated, and you would see magic here. That's what the Chinese are doing. That's what the Americans are doing. And they're funding their artists. So, do your part instead of complaining about what they're doing. Okay. Let them have their agenda. They're entitled to their agenda. Yeah, they're entitled. I have nothing against the gay agenda. I'm just telling you where I stand on this matter. And I'm trying to tell you that in the list of priorities, being gay or straight are not even important.
I agree with you.
I mean, come on.
I agree.
Yeah, I almost said homosexual. I'm a heterosexual. That needs to be cut out. But anyway, I'm just kidding. Yeah. I'm a heterosexual, but I don't make a big deal of it. I don't. And the ladies always know. They know if you want them, you know. That's it. It's a normal thing. One thing we need to do is just keep it in our pants. We shouldn't have sex, but then it is healthy to be heterosexual.
Yeah.
Even the issue of marriage, I mean, we can all discuss it because everybody here says you need to get married for the sake of getting married. But what about love? What about passion? What about, devotion to the person? Why should I get married to somebody to sleep with every other woman?
Yeah.
When I can sleep with every other woman when I'm single?
I agree.
I know I have to account to that woman who I'm supposed to be accountable to.
Yeah.
I just tell her she won't be there, so I'll just be doing my thing. So, me, I believe in higher forms of doing things. Marriage should be, the way I envision it. In my heart. You can do it your way, people. You can do yours. Art, the same story. Comedy, everything. I look at the higher plane. What does it bring to the spirit? Does it bring happiness or does it bring sorrow? I'm against sorrow because I've gone through depression, and still at times it comes. What Churchill calls the black dog on your back. It just is there, always there. Comes up. There are times when you're really elated, moments of elation, it disappears. Then other times the depression comes up. This is a real thing. Never done. I tried to get antidepressants before, couldn't do it. Because the doctor told me, man, you could get addicted to those.
True.
So
yeah,
I said, you know what? Let me ride it. You talk to people who talk freely. You get around positive people. Because I really am what they call an empath. I really get affected by negativity. Yeah. So at times I just fall off social media because the negativity, I can feel it. It touches me very deeply, and that's what art is. A true artist is touched deeply by the suffering and the joy of the world.
True.
That is the truth. And if you're not touched, then maybe you're not an artist. So these things touch me in a way that is inestimable. You cannot estimate it. It's something which is so deep that at the end of the day, you have to. It's like going through the darkness while blind. It's like a double whammy right there. You're just, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But the beauty is art can channel these views. And that's what the government should be talking, because I'm not alone. There are many people, their mental dispensations in Uganda is really bad. So if we can, I don't know, I think I shouldn't call it a dispensation, but it seems like that tense. But it's really bad right now. It's really bad right now. And I think if we can use art to alleviate the suffering, because you never end it, but alleviate it, then it will do more than any, drugs out there. Because art is actually a drug. It's a positive drug.
Positive drug, sure.
We encourage people to take drugs.
Yeah.
Take arts.
Nice, I like that. Wow,
yeah.
it's still in line with what you've been saying. Do you think there is a script that leads to a good life? Like a script that if you followed clearly, you'd be happy, you'd be successful, you'd be,
No. If there was, then I think everyone would be there now. You know what I mean? Everyone would be there if it was a straight line. But I think they're just different lines going to different directions.
Yeah.
And happiness for you is different from me. Some people are even happy being miserable. Never forget that. Some people are happy like that. No matter what you do, no matter what you say, they just don't want to hear that. They want to be where they are.
Yeah.
So leave them alone. If they're happy like that, you don't have to judge them and say, oh, you know what, you're miserable. Maybe that's there. You know what I mean? With you, like with me, there's smaller things that make me happy. I can just read a book, take a club, talk to a nice lady.
Yeah.
That alone, even if I see nice booty, I'm like, wow, that's made my day. Imagine only that. Yeah, because me, I'm a simple guy in that sense.
Yeah, nice.
So
I like that.
there are certain things I look for, and I don't have to go, because I speak with people who want to analyze happiness. I want to live it. I want to express it. I don't have to analyze happiness, because that means I don't have it. Why would you analyze what you have? I mean, like now I can say, I'm a black man. I'm analyzing it all the time. Maybe I don't believe I'm beautiful enough. Like those black is beautiful people. Usually, they're sorry to say that, dear Lupita and the rest. Usually, there's a deficit of self-esteem. You don't have it. Maybe deep inside you want to be white. And if you look at the Ugandan chicks who are doing that, especially the dark ones, oh, black is beautiful, they always end up with a white guy. Now, I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm just saying that why? Ask yourselves why.
They probably say it probably mean black is beautiful, but white is handsome.
Oh, wow.
It's probably what.
I don't think so. Black is also, I think all of us are beautiful, right? Black or white. You don't have to make a big deal of it.
I know. Yeah.
Because if white people start saying white is beautiful, blacks will say, man, this guy is a racist.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
So, and what stops them from saying that? Why not, I mean, if you're going to talk about black is beautiful, live it.
Yeah.
Don't preach it.
Yeah.
Just live it. Because if other races,
Just
like
feel it.
Chinese,
Just
if
feel
a
it.
Chinese man stands on Kampala Road and said, Chinese is beautiful, or being yellow is beautiful. I don't know what color those guys are, but being whatever I am is beautiful.
Yeah.
And then guys will stop him. What about us?
Yeah. Yeah.
And now you have to say, yeah, you're beautiful too.
Equally beautiful, yeah.
But then the fact that I'm me, you'll be secondary to what I am, in terms of what I was focusing in before you interrupted me with a question, So one thing I want to emphasize is that don't talk about it, be about it. As the hated P. Diddy said. Don't know why that guy is so hated.
Don't talk about it, be about it. I know that.
I mean, the guy is, all due respect.
Yeah.
I'm not his biggest fan because I don't think he can rap. But as an entrepreneur and as a person who has promoted rappers, a producer, there's no one better than that. Very few better, sorry.
He's one of those gatekeepers in the industry.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Well, but I think in the sense that I don't know how he is now.
Yeah.
He's tough, right? Yeah. He doesn't allow in mediocrity. But I don't think he makes money from talent, so he allows in talent. This is what we're saying in Uganda. If you want to be a gatekeeper, allow in the talent, make your money from them, then they let them blossom. Then they'll be able to make money by themselves because they can write contracts with you as long as it's not like a slavery kind of contract where I'm with you for life. I can do a 5-year contract with you, make a name through you. I move on, do my own thing. The Usher Raymonds all came through him, right? Yeah. Notorious, didn't survive, but these guys were all nobodies. And they became, we know them now. Yeah. They don't know us, we know them. Yeah. Which is beautiful. It's a beautiful thing with art. The people you touch, you don't know. That's the beauty with art. Yeah. You don't know who the hell they are. You may think you do, because we always think we can second guess or understand each other through our own preconceived notions of who we are as a people, as human beings. But it's not true. You'll never know that's why even an artist will never know what goes viral. I can write my best piece. Sure. My best piece, which I will say to myself, this is the best piece I've ever written in my life. But then it gets only very few views.
True, I agree entirely.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is how do you come up with a good joke?
A good joke, because I also do write jokes.
And I've read so many of them on your Facebook. Social media. You keep putting them on. Hilarious stuff.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. It's a good joke. I guess it's what hits me. I don't premeditate it. I don't plan it. Say if I get online, then I just see something. I'm like, hey, this is what reminds me of something. I don't know, something I've experienced. Usually comes from a real place, as they say. Your comedy is your truth. Yeah, that's what they say. So when you keep it real, when you keep it honest, when you keep it authentic, I think somehow you become funny. Yeah, that's it. Because I don't think there's any real formula to being funny. It's just, that's what I see working with me. Other guys just want to be silly. That's also there. But as I also wrote on my wall, there's a difference between a comic and a comedian. A comedian says funny things. A comic says things funny. Oh yeah. Yeah, says things funny. That is well, it's not my quote, but that's what I heard. I think that Jerry Seinfeld again said that. I think, yeah. So that's what helps me. I just write according to my experiences and also my outlook, which evolves from my experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's cool.
So, okay. So I think that's enough. So even if we talk, it's
okay.
perfect, right?
All right, that's good. Yeah, at least that's it's kind of like a fail-safe. Now, so like I was saying, I think I was talking about jokes. Yeah. That's how they come about. Yeah. That's how they work with me. I just use my truth to say something funny, and times it's not even intentionally funny. It just happens that way. And I think most of these guys who are good at that's what I've read from Jerry Seinfeld. I like referencing him because he's kind of guy who's turned comedy into an art form, like into a science. Because he dissects. He goes by syllables. He goes really deep. Mr. Bean, same thing.
Yeah.
Although he's a dummy, he looks like, but he has, I think, a PhD from Oxford. You know, masters actually.
Mr. Bean, really?
Yeah,
Oof.
yeah, in science.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's a scientist.
Yeah.
These are very intelligent guys who understand that humor comes from a deep place. Yeah. And I think that's even the pain. The pain. Because at times you can put out stuff. You can put out stuff which is not offensive, but it's kind of like you put out stuff which, you know, has offended you. And then you just lament. And people find it funny because at times even a rant can be really funny.
True.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then on top of that, I don't want to lose sight of the fact that everybody they can also tap into the reservoir humor. Yeah, at times you call somebody funny and the guy gets offended. You say, you find me a joke? You know, like that guy, Joe Pesci, said in Casino, right?
Yeah.
You find me a joke,
Yes.
you know.
When you say it's funny.
Yeah, when you say somebody is funny.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if you tell probably President Museveni, you're a funny guy, I don't know how he will take it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know him personally. Let's say you tell something like Stella Nyanzi. Stella's funny too. Yeah, she can be funny. But I don't think she's going for that.
Yeah.
Kakwenza, I think, is going for that.
Yeah.
Ngobi Kagai, that poet, no, I don't think it's going for that. He's always serious.
Yeah. I would like us to
Mainly, anyway. Yeah.
let's craft. Let's imagine
Yeah.
you've been asked to. You've been given 1 minute, Phil, to craft a joke.
Like right now. That's hard, man. Okay, it's not hard.
Is that hard?
Okay, because this guy, when he was told to host the Tonight Show, let me give you a quick anecdote. Louis C.K., they told him, say something funny. And he said, that's not how it works. You know, it was like, it's, you know, because comedy is not jokes on demand.
Okay.
Yeah, or not joke. It's not about that. I think it's about expressing what you have to say, which is interesting.
Okay.
Maybe if somebody finds everything I'm saying laughable right now, I guess that's comedy too, in the sense that they're laughing at me instead of with me. Yeah, but honestly, if we're to craft a joke around what, I wonder. What? Pick a topic. Let's see if we can do it.
Okay.
Yeah, if we
Give
can
it
do
a
it,
shot.
we'll do it. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see.
Let's craft a joke around. A very contentious something. Homophobia. That's
Okay.
walk that thin line and don't offend people, but you still
Okay.
want to deliver a good joke.
Okay. Let's see. Homophobia. Homophobia is like it's one of those phobias, one of those fears, which makes you surprisingly. No, this is not going to be a funny joke. Okay, let's go for it. Okay. Okay, homophobia is one of those one of those realities which makes you think fondly about Martin Semper, which is kind of gay, right? Because I mean, whenever you think about homophobia, you think about that nigga, and you're like, man, you know what? I think, where is Martin Semper when you need him, right? Where is he, right?
You're crazy.
Where is he when you need him?
You got it.
And that's kind of like gay, because I mean, what you need him for, you know? What you need Mr. Semper for. So that's the thing. When I think of homophobia, that's really Semper comes to mind.
You got it. You got it right away.
Comes to mind, which is strange. Yeah.
Phil.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You. Now, what more do you need? You're what the industry needs right now.
I hope so.
I'm telling you, because off the top,
Yeah.
I had somebody I hosted here
Yeah.
that I asked to. They are transitioning from IT, they're an IT practitioner, but then they really want to go into comic.
Okay.
Yeah. So just said, okay, now make me laugh. Oof. That was crazy. I felt bad in the end that I put them on the spot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I would have expected that they had something off the top,
Yeah.
But they're good, my friend and everything. But I did not spare them.
Yeah.
At that point.
You told them. You told the person. Huh?
Yes.
Oh. Okay, so you're real.
Yes, I was real like that.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
then I'm glad you like this.
I do. Right away, off the top. I thought you were going to stagger through it, but you.
I think I drew it on too long though, because I had to, after the joke I was trying to explain it. Martin saying, why? It's not necessary. I guess if you got it, then you got it. And I guess I did it for you to get it. And It just, I guess it's good to be put on the spot.
Yeah.
Like that, because people want to know you can do what you say you can do.
Yeah.
Even on demand or even just out of any circumstance. And it's not easy, I agree, because it's like we did an interview one time in New Vision and we all had to write stories. Back in the day, I think I was still working in the barracks, and by that time I felt I was being put under pressure, and I got scared. My nerve, I lost my nerve, so I failed. Or maybe they failed me. You will never know, because I shouldn't always blame myself for what goes wrong in my life. Then again, it's also dangerous for blaming. I was told yesterday that a narcissist is somebody who blames everyone else for their mistakes, their shortcomings. Thank God I'm not one, because I usually blame myself. But there's sometimes when
which is nice. I think it's a nice thing in a way. You know why?
Yeah.
Because you have you feel you have something you need to change about you in order to get a different result.
Exactly.
But every time you throw it out there,
it's wrong, because even when I'm criticizing, like we talked about earlier, criticizing, say, the president, I used to do that a lot on my columns. But then someone even asked me, I'm a good fan of your writing, but you don't offer solutions. You don't offer a way out, and you don't offer fresh perspective. So those three things are really important: a way out, a solution, and a fresh perspective. Although a way out and a solution are the same thing, but let's just make it fancy. Let's broaden the number of points, or the bullet points. So if you wanna shoot with those bullet points, you need to leave the reader richer than they were when they approached your words. Because anyone can criticize anyone. I can stand here and tell you, like I even used to ask guys, they'll tell me, no, Salvador's not funny. I was like, good, that's a place in the industry for you. You say you're funny, and you say he's not funny, go and take his spot. It's as simple as that, really. I don't know how to write, as they'll say. Philip is not a good writer. No problem. That gives you an avenue.
Yes, true.
It doesn't stop you. It actually gives you a chance, because there's one less writer and one more writer who's masquerading. I'm masquerading. Or Salvador's masquerading.
Sure.
That is your opportunity. I know they're going to say, but you mean we're not allowed to criticize? That means, no, it doesn't mean that. But usually people who criticize these people perceive themselves as funny. I've seen them. A guy is telling jokes all over social media. Then he has an opinion in Ugandan comedians. They're not funny. That's what usually is the case. It's not usually, say, an unfunny person. Usually a funny person who has failed to reach that level of acclaim. So they look at Salvador and they're like, how did he do it? That guy is a loser. Daniel Maro's not funny. And Kansime is repetitious. These are the complaints they have. Who the hell is Cotilda? And those are things they say. And then they'll always bring in people like Trevor Noah. Why don't you be more like Trevor Noah? Why do you keep talking about tribalism? But Trevor Noah was at his best when he was talking about the different races, the Africans. You watch his older comedy? His best stuff was when he was doing those different voices from South Africa. So he was like us. In America, they talk about race. Why? Because race is their tribalism. Or their tribe. Because tribe is an outdated concept, and it's even something which was made a lot by the colonialists. We're not supposed to be in tribes. But people hold on to tribes so much that even when you make fun of tribes, they get offended. Which is so wrong. In fact, the more we make fun of tribes, the more we lighten our perspective of tribes. And the more the possibility rises that we can actually obliterate and remove tribalism. Remove tribes. I know people say, but that's where you're from. Yeah. I'm not from a tribe. I'm from an area. I'm from Kabale. I'm from there. That's not where, that's where I was born. I'm from my mother. So I don't have to be called the mother tribe or anything. That's where I'm from, okay? The fact that you may be were born next to me or next door to me should not be something which makes me discriminative of others.
I agree.
I should not say that, oh, that's my brother, that's my sister. Who told you we're brothers and sisters? Humanity-wise,
Phil is now delving into philosophy.
Humanity-wise, we're all brothers and sisters. We all came from the same place. There was a geological explosion which took us around the world. These are all historical facts. But then we like to look at our tribe, which is so insular and small. It's irrelevant, in my opinion.
All right, Phil, it's been very nice.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your story.
Yeah.
You know,
thanks.
what you do. It's been really fun. I've
Thank you.
enjoyed.
Thank you.
And I look forward to
Without
hosting
any-
again.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
Please, and then those tickets for those shows, man.
Yeah,
I'm just a call
absolutely.
away.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let me know, including our viewers. Many of them would love to come and watch.
Yeah,
So
for
keep
sure.
sharing, and
Yeah.
then don't hesitate when we call you to come and, to come back to the show.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, no
Please come. I'll
problem.
be happy to have you again.
No problem.
Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Remember to leave a comment for Phil in case you have something you'd like to tell him. He will read, and we'll make sure that he responds. All right? Or we respond on his behalf.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. See you on the next one.
G Styles, the G full of style. Them a pre-we, if you know, you know. Coca-Cola, me day up on top with me crown King Styles. Everything crease and thing in a me palace. Every boy a pre me in a me Rolls Royce. Ngabuli chimuchakabi, everything now.